days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. It is time for the 49ers versus Jacksonville Jaguars game preview show, Alex. I'm excited to talk about all these key matchups as the 49ers look to make it 3 out of 4 wins. Excited.
Let's freaking go. But before we dive too far into it, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button and the notification bell. Screw the plugs.
Like the Houston Rockets did.
Yeah, you want to be like the Houston Rockets. Support the 49ers Cutback. You may be from Houston. You may be a basketball team. But you know, if you need 49ers information, this is the place to be. Even the Houston Rockets know this, Ant. Even they know this. And this is a big week for the 49ers. Huge week for the 49ers. Extremely... I don't even know what the pivotal is the right word I want to go with. Thank you for the save there with that. But extremely pivotal for the San Francisco 49ers because you get a chance to build on the absolute shellacking you put on the Los Angeles Rams on Monday night. A beating that was so bad that you had Matt Stafford's wife throwing pretzels at fans because they were talking smack. So 49ers fan base doing their thing, getting salty, delectable delicacies tossed their way. And the 49ers now are rolling and swaggy and back in the swing of things and feeling like the team we all thought they could be. 2 of the last 3 big wins. Yes, you had the disappointing loss to the Arizona Cardinals, but a lot of it was self-inflicted. And now an opportunity to right some wrongs, get themselves back going in the right direction. And what better team to do it against than an Urban Meyer team that has also been up and down consistently all season, more down than up, but has recently maybe started to put some things together and figured some things out, and the 49ers have a chance to smack that down and bring them back down to planet Earth.
Yeah, first off, I don't condone, what she did. You don't throw food like that. And really the reason is because I don't want you to waste food. The pretzels are delicious.
Absolutely.
I wonder if she had cheese, how much salt did she have on it? Anyways, this is taking an interesting turn. But anyways, I would not, even though I'm very tempted to throw it at some of the fans at times, I would not waste food. So I would not throw food. Other items, though, are on, their possibilities. Batteries, whatever. Anyways,
whoa!
Moving on. Yeah, you're right. The Jacksonville Jaguars have started playing better. They've had some pretty good games, recently, and it looks like, at least they're clicking to a level that, they weren't early on in the season.
Correct.
They figured some things out. And I think that actually Urban Meyer grinding with that blonde in the bar actually brought the team together. They kind of made some jokes about it. A team that laughs together can kind of come together, and I think that he did that for them. I don't think it was intentional, but well done. The grinding has really got these guys together. So I think that they're at least a team that you have to be, worried about. You have to pay attention to what they do because they do have weapons. They have weapons all over the field. They've made moves during the, season as far as bringing in Dan Arnold and getting him on the football team.
True.
To give Trevor Lawrence a safety net, somebody that he could go to. But they also have Laviska Shenault, who is one of my favorite players coming out of that draft because I see him in sort of the Deebo Samuel mold. No, he's not Deebo Samuel. He's not that talented, but he is in that mold, and he can do a lot of different things. So it's going to be curious how the 49ers, play the Jacksonville Jaguars and how these two teams match up. But it's an exciting game because the 49ers have the opportunity to beat Jacksonville. They have the opportunity to put their season, headed in the right direction, even more so than it already is, and prove that they are one of those teams that still can be reckoned with in the league.
1,000% yes. This is not a game where 49ers, the team itself or the fan base should feel like, hey, this is a gimme. This isn't a gimme. This is a team that started to put some things together and has really found themselves an identity. And you're right. And a lot of it started happening after that incident in the Ohio bar where he doesn't fly home with the team and apparently decides to go to a bar instead and get grounded up on. But hey,
yeah, pretty Ricky.
Basically, pretty Ricky. But the 49ers have started to found an identity as well. They've sort of started to find themselves, both offensively and defensively. And it couldn't come at a better time because this is the second half of the season. This is the portion of the season now where the mistakes of the past and the mistakes of the past, and all that matters now is the present and the future. The team you are going to be going forward and the team that you're going to be heading into this home stretch of the year is what matters. The mistakes that you've made, who you've been up to this point, is no longer of concern to this team. It's all about turning the page and looking forward to what you have left to do and what you still have in front of you, because you still have a lot of football left to play on this season. And it starts Sunday in Jacksonville against this Jaguars team, a team that has started to run the ball better, that has given, Trevor Lawrence more time in the pocket and better opportunities to throw, that's been able to get play action going, has introduced Jamal Agnew and the speed aspect into their offense. And defensively has been able to get after the quarterbacks with the pass rush with Josh Allen and Miles Jack, I believe, is the other linebacker they have in space. So they definitely have pieces on both sides of the football that are dangerous and can do things, can be explosive. So if you're the 49ers, you need to focus in on these guys, focus in on the strengths of the Jacksonville Jaguars, take those things away, and don't try and make Trevor Lawrence beat you like, oh, here's these easy things, Trevor, that you can go do. Don't do what you did against the Chicago Bears, right? Because Trevor Lawrence is much better than Justin Fields is right now in terms of being able to make throws and find guys and get rid of the football. Instead, do to the Chicago Bears what Tampa did. Disguise those coverages. Really get him guessing, second guessing, taking a look at what he's seeing and taking some chances early and then realizing, oh, that was almost a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't be so quick on the gun here. Make him start to double clutch a little bit, pump fake, pull things back in, or just hitch in that giddy up just a little bit, because if you're the 49ers and you can take away that first read, take away the thing he wants to go through, take away the comfort zone for Trevor Lawrence, and then you're going to be able to get after him in a big way, be able to put some pressure on him, because as much as the offense has improved, that O-line is not a fortified steel wall of greatness.
No, and it's all about eye discipline for Trevor. He's got to be able to continually look through his reads and go through his progressions, and whenever you start mucking it up and changing things, and then this defensive line is able to get after him, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. He's still a young rookie player who's going to be prone to make mistakes, especially if you get him off his spot and make him uncomfortable in the pocket. That's what they got to do. They got to make sure not only do they get after him from the edge, but they collapse it up the middle too. He will not do well. You saw Matthew Stafford not do well when Kentavious Street pushed someone right into him. Those are things that Trevor Lawrence isn't going to do well either. He's going to want to escape. He's going to want to move. He's going to want to rely on his athletic ability. And DeMeco Ryans in this 49ers defense needs to make sure they keep him off balance and not comfortable with what he's seeing. As long as they do that, they'll have success, because he's still a rookie quarterback. And he's not a rookie quarterback that's proven he can go out there and win football games consistently like a Ben Roethlisberger did, when he started. This is a different animal. It's a different team around him, because this roster is definitely not as talented as that team. The 49ers have the advantage in talent. The 49ers are a better football team. They've proven now against the Los Angeles Rams that when they execute, they can beat the best football teams in the league. But they have to go execute. And if they don't, Jacksonville's going to have an opportunity to win. Still all about execution, but if you go out there and you execute your game plan, you're going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, because you're going to confuse the young quarterback, and you're going to get after him, and there's going to be potential for a lot of big-time plays for this 49ers defense.
Agreed, and it's going to start on the defensive side of the ball, just like it did last week against the Los Angeles Rams, being able to be a physical football team, create turnovers and things of that nature, and that's why my defensive key matchup heading into this game is a matchup that is focused and designed solely on forcing Trevor Lawrence to try and beat you with his arms by taking away that running game, locking down the running game and the linebacking core versus James Robinson. This is huge for the San Francisco 49ers, because they've started to rely on this run game a lot early on in the season. We talked about potential trade options for the 49ers when injuries started piling up, and James Robinson was a name that I brought up, and it was because specifically he wasn't being utilized in this offense at all whatsoever. It seemed like Urban Meyer wanted nothing to do with James Robinson. That's why they made the move for Travis Etienne. He gets hurt in training camp, and he's just a non-portion of the offense once they get into the season. Well, that changed very quickly. James Robinson has become a focal point of the offense, and why they found some success, his ability to run the ball up the middle, outside, in the pass game. He's been heavily involved, and it's led to them being able to free things up, be successful, and make life a little bit easier for Trevor Lawrence. It's also allowed them to extend drives and keep their defense off the field so their defense can stay fresh. Similar issues to what San Francisco has been having, and ideally, if you can keep that run game contained, not give up big plays on first downs, second downs, and things of that nature, put them in third and longs, third and mediums, and places like that, then you're going to have opportunities to get off the field quickly and also make sure that they're struggling.
Yeah, it's all about run fits. So let's make sure that the 49ers can stop James Robinson, make sure they stop this run game. And if they do, they're going to have a very good chance to win, because it's going to put Trevor in situations where he can't be successful continuously. So you're right. That's going to be a big part of this football game, and having the run fits and the linebackers that they're going to have back is going to be nice. So if they can stop the run, they can definitely beat Jacksonville. And if they stop the run, they can actually make this game look ugly. And your key matchup fits right into where my key matchup is, because my defensive key matchup is this 49ers pass rush against Trevor Lawrence. And I'm looking for this 49ers pass rush to get after him early and often And I think they can just put this guy in a world of hurt. They can terrorize Trevor and, get him on his heels, make him feel uncomfortable, make him feel like there's nowhere he can go where he feels safe. And if they do that, then he'll let his eyes betray him and he'll turn the ball over. I've watched him a lot of football games. I mean, probably every single game that he played at Clemson, I watched. I'm a Florida State fan, so I paid attention to the ACC. But I really did enjoy watching Clemson, with Trevor Lawrence at the helm. It was a good football team. Dabo Swinney did a good job there. So I've seen Trevor play probably more than any other quarterback that came out of the draft. So I think the 49ers can get after him. There are, spots where they can take advantage of him. He will struggle with a blitz. He does struggle with pressure in his face. Those are things he's not comfortable with. And even though he does look down the field to throw, a lot of times he will make a mistake and throw across his body. He will make a mistake and try to force something in. So they can take advantage of that. And I look for the 49ers to do that. But it all is predicated on that pass rush. Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead got to get it going. And then we got to get a little bit of pressure off the other side, whether that's Arden Key playing in the inside or if that's Samson Ebukam off the outside. And Ebukam is, catching a little heat. Now that the team is playing good, these people are out there trying to find other players that maybe there's mistakes on because we got to keep the negative ball rolling. But actually, Ebukam's been playing really good against the run. He just needs to get his pass numbers up, but those are going to get there now that he's playing every single down, or most downs and base downs. So I look for him to have a big game this week.
There, man. I completely agree with you on that, and you were not wrong on Ebukam's impact in the run game. It has been apparent. It has been obvious. He's done an incredible job of setting the edge. He's done an even better job of getting off and shedding tackles, crashing down the line when they don't pick him up, and tripping guys up or tackling them at the line or for very short gains. Samson Ebukam has been a big help in that regard, and I think the addition of potentially Dre Greenlaw could elevate and take this to a whole nother level with the run fits and the run stops, and that's why it was my key matchup with that linebacking core.
Makes sense, yeah.
It needs to be something that we can rely on this group now, healthy with all three pieces out there, being able to shut down run lanes, take away opportunities, but also make it so that teams, hey, you want to focus your attention on Fred Warner? That's fine. Leave one of the surest tacklers at the linebacker position in the league, and Dre Greenlaw, free and available to go make clean tackles on running backs in space. We will take that all day long. That's a positive thing for the 49ers, and it'll even help Azeez Al-Shaair out because now teams can't put him in positions where he can get out of position. He can play his role even better, force things inside where he knows he's got help from not only Fred Warner, but also Dre Greenlaw out there in space. But the defense is only one half of this football game for the 49ers because even if the defense is getting those stops, creating some turnovers, making life havoc, absolute havoc for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, our O's got to capitalize. They have to also execute. They have to be able to go out and do the things necessary in space to not only score points, but to keep the ball moving and get the defense rest, keep them off the field, have those long drives. But I think we saw this last week against the Rams, them starting to find a little bit of an identity of who they are, right? We're not just a team that is going to drop back and throw the ball. We're not just going to be a team that runs the ball outside, inside, whatever. We're going to be physical everywhere at the point of attack with the run game, with our running backs, with our blockers in space, tight ends coming across the formation, Jeff Wilson Jr. coming across the formation, Brandon Ayuk at the second level, Deebo Samuel on receptions, George Kittle. Physicality is now the key. It's the emphasis, and this team has bought into what they are. We're not just a team that can run the ball. We're not just a team who can operate over the middle of the field. We're a team that's going to come right at you each and every snap.
Yeah, I think that they have done a good job of establishing who they are. And that's why my offensive key matchup is this 49ers offense against Blueprint. And that is them figuring out what the blueprint is for this offense. And I think they've done it over the last few weeks. It wasn't the Rams game that decided what this blueprint was. It's been building since the Bears game. And it started with putting Jimmy Garoppolo in the shotgun more than he's ever played in the shotgun, something he did at New England. But in the 49ers, he really didn't do that a whole lot. You put him in those situations like you did in 2017 because it was easier to learn. And now you're seeing that success is happening. Over 109% quarterback rating over the last 3 weeks is proving what he can do in those situations. So they've decided to put Jimmy in situations to be successful, and it's helped this football team. And it's helped it also by establishing that attitude in that run game early on in the game. This is the blueprint for winning, is going out there and running the football and then letting Jimmy convert on third down. That is how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to win for the rest of the year. So get ready for it. It's going to be a heavy dose of run, but they're also going to take what the defense gives them. So if the defense is going to load up with 6 guys in the box, they're either going to run the ball outside or they're going to let Jimmy beat them with a quick pass. And they've been doing this consistently. The fact Jimmy Garoppolo is getting the ball in 2.3 seconds goes to show a lot of how they can protect this offensive line and make it so this offensive line can be successful. The fact that they ran the ball 44 times proves that they are more dominant physically than the team that they're going to that they played against. And they're probably more dominant physically against most of the teams they're going to play against. I'm sure there's going to come a team that's just as physical. But right now they've established the blueprint of how they're going to do it. They're going to get Jimmy in the shotgun. They're going to get this run game going, whether that's pitches or inside gap plays. And they're going to go make sure that this other team has to defend every aspect of the field. Jimmy's one outside. Jimmy's one inside. It's been a very good decision to put him in the shotgun. And I look for this to continue. And I look for teams to struggle. And it's going to take a lot of the pressure off a lot of the areas of this offense that have been put under pressure to perform at a high level. And that is particularly this offensive line. So I'm excited for this game plan. I think the 49ers figured out the blueprint. This is their identity. And now they got to go do it week in and week out.
And they can do it week in and week out. That's the key here is that, what is now being asked of them and the way that they're executing is different than early in the season. Kyle is now dialed into with his guys and with their comfort level is in terms of when teams start to adjust. So when teams load 6 in the box, all right, we'll run outside and we'll run those tosses and we'll get that guy motioning in space, because what they've now noticed is that these guys set up with 6 in the box, but they set up wide. Okay, you're going to set up wide. We're just going to run a toss action, kick out that end, and we're going to double him to accomplish the kick out and then get up to second level. Mm-hmm. And good luck. We're going to get at least 5. And if everyone hits their blocks, it's a big play. So what are teams doing? How do they adjust to that? Well, then when you guys bring that guy in motion, guess what we're going to do? Linebackers are going to start flowing hard. Well, the minute you do that, now the counters are in play. That gap scheme becomes extremely effective. And Kyle Shanahan dialed it up last week beautifully. When the Rams started making those adjustments and getting guys flying downhill, well, the next time we showed that motion and everyone started moving in space, well, guess what? Now we're going back the other direction. It's a 4 or 5 yard gain, 7, 8 yard gain at times. And we're just going to gash you. We're going to continue to gash you because this isn't a recipe for long-term success in the NFL. It's something teams did early in the season against San Francisco to kick them up, right? Get them off bounds and be like, what the heck is going on? What are these teams doing? Is this, you guys for real? And it caught us off guard a little bit. It was sets and things that we weren't familiar with. Well, guess what? We've seen it for 9 weeks now. Guess what? We're familiar. We're comfortable. We know what we're seeing. Kyle Shanahan knows. And they've made the adjustments. And you talked about it, right? The blueprint. That blueprint is extremely important. They've been able to do a lot of positive things with it. And that's why my key matchup is right here. This right tackles versus Josh Allen and this edge presence for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because if you're able to set that edge, control that edge, dictate to them what you're willing and not willing to let them do. If they want to be aggressive and come downhill, all right, come downhill. We're just going to basically move you out of the way and run right underneath you. If you can control that outside, especially from that right spot, that right tackle spot, with either Jalen Moore or Tom Compton, then your O-line is set. Your O-line is comfortable. You're going to be able to effectively run the football the way you want to.
Right.
And that's going to put them in positive situations so they're not just having to straight kick slide back 15, 20, 30 times a game in order to, pass pro. You're able to keep teams off balance, keep their edge rushers off balance, and that's huge for the 49ers.
Yeah, you're not going to have to kick slide very much at all when Jimmy Garoppolo is getting rid of the ball in 2.3 seconds.
Accurate.
That takes the pressure off that offensive line, and that's a lot of that has to do with this, wide receiver room winning as well. But yeah, this is going to be a pivotal matchup because Josh Allen is a very good edge pass rusher. It came out in the Nick Bosa draft. I broke it down very extensively on my own time. We didn't even have a podcast then, but I was very interested in who the 49ers should take at 2. I think if we'd have been running a 3-4 defense, I think Josh Allen would have been a guy that they would have looked to take as the outside, guy. We run a 4-3, and Nick Bosa made a lot of sense, and he's a beast. But Josh Allen has a lot of skills, and he's a guy that can definitely do big things in this league. But one thing you can do though is they can run at him. I mean, they can take advantage of him as far as the same sort of things they were doing with Kittle and Juszczyk in this game or in the last game. They can do in this one, and it's not the first time they did it. They did it to Robert Quinn against Chicago as well. So get ready for the doop-de-doop too, where George Kittle makes contact and you see Juszczyk coming in motion. They think they're going to get that chip, and he's going to run right past him and get underneath and pick up a linebacker. This stuff is going to happen, and sometimes it might be Kittle running right by him and Juszczyk just kicking him out. Now you can start confusing the defense. I'm
anticipating too here at some point because Kyle's been showing this now for weeks. These motion actions for weeks, and what have we not seen a lot of off of this? Play action and not Kittle, but Juszczyk going deep, which is something that happens a few times a year. Yeah. It's coming at some point. That motion is going to come across the field, and they're going to get them on some sort of wheel route for a big play.
The one thing that's a little bit different is because it's a pitch action. So the fake on the pitch action is not going to freeze them as much. So that is one big thing that is a little bit of an issue as far as the play action goes. Just the way that they've been running it. When it was outside zone, you had the long action where you have the quarterback, running out there to give him the ball, so it freezes the linebackers longer. So this is a little bit of a different element to the offense, but you're right. If you get that reverse pivot and you get him the fake pitch out there, it will freeze them for a second. Then you got to come out the other way and execute. We haven't seen a play action off of it yet. We also haven't seen a real reverse out of it yet. Both of those things could be situations they could take advantage of. I'm still waiting for a screen pass to come off of it, where you get everything going that way, and then you have somebody coming out the other way,
the other side,
and coming out and being free. So. I'm curious how they handle it. I'm curious what the evolution is of this play that is seeming to work, because now it's really being highlighted. Everyone was looking at it, and everyone was seeing how it was executed. And if you don't figure out how to stop it as a defense, and like you said, the only way they figured it out was to fly those linebackers downhill in a hurry, and that works for right now. But you wait until they figure out another way. And every time that you have a pitch like that, you leave yourself open to a counter going back the other way. And whether that's Deebo Samuel, who proves he can, you can definitely, or even a Jeff Wilson Jr. They put him in the slot. They ran these plays to Deebo Samuel. What is going to stop them from doing the same sort of action and giving the ball to him on an inside give, following Trent Williams or Laken Tomlinson up the hole? We've seen them do it against the Panthers back in the day, and tricking Luke Kuechly. So this is something they can do. The evolution of that play is going to continue, because just because you run something doesn't mean you keep running it. When someone thinks they can take it away, it gives you an opportunity to execute something else.
Absolutely, and it's right, chess, not checkers. Chess, not checkers. 100%. Not everything's moving one direction. You're not moving one space on the board. You can do a lot of different things with a lot of different pieces, and we talked about this early in the season. The 49ers, if everything's clicking on offense, the weapons you have, it's a lot of queens. It's not a lot of rooks. It's not a lot of pawns. It's not a lot of knights. These are guys who can do a variety of different things, and the 49ers are just getting started figuring out what those movements are and how they can utilize them. I'm looking forward to see how they build on the Rams' performance against Jacksonville this weekend. But we got to get into one of the best segments of our preview shows. Every week, we give you bold predictions. We give you bold takes. The Cutback crew spams them in the comment section down below, and they're doing it right now. My goodness gracious, Cutback crew. You know what time it is. It's time for one of the best segments on this channel. It's time for Wow, That's Really Bold. Actually, whoa, technically it's really bold, but it's Wow, That's Bold.
Wow, that's really bold. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
It's bold time, Ant. It's time for Wow, That's Bold. Bold predictions for the 49ers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Offensively, I will kick it off. I will start this thing off, and in a big way, in a specific way. There's a specific theme this week. Multiple players having big games, and big opportunities for the 49ers. George Kittle been having some solid weeks the last few weeks. Last week, numbers-wise, in terms of receiving yards, not necessarily through the moon astronomical, but converted on third downs, big red zone touchdown. Well, guess what, Ant? This week, 2 tutties for George Kittle. Maybe some in the red zone, who knows? But the guy who's going to shine this week is the guy it's been slept on consistently all season long. He's been overshadowed by his big brother, Deebo Samuel. Deebo's going to have himself a game, but Brandon Ayuk is going to have his first 100-yard receiving game of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Book it, faithful. Book it, TCC. Brandon Ayuk, he's back on the scene.
I like that. I like those bold predictions, and I'm going to go with the bold prediction that the 49ers are going to score 4 red zone touchdowns. Last week, everyone scoffed at me when I said the 49ers were going to score 5 touchdowns by 5 different guys. They only scored 4, and we had 3 guys that scored them because Deebo scored twice. But
he scored it twice in 2 different ways.
True, 100%. So yeah, it was. But I'm going with this. I think we're going to get into the red zone. I think we're going to dominate, with the run game, and then we're going to score touchdowns when we get there. We are the best team in the NFL in scoring in the red zone.
Accurate.
Over 77% of the time, we get it done. And I think they continue that against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's a nice big win for us.
77% of the time, it works every time?
Yeah, pretty much. 77% is a ridiculously good number for red zone efficiency touchdowns.
It is, but that doesn't make any sense. Look, but from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball, Ant, while that's bold, what do you have for the Cutback crew and for the faithful?
Yeah, so one of the big talking points has been, the 49ers can't get people to turn the ball over.
Accurate.
And last week, Jimmy Ward came through with 2, big turnovers in this game and 2 interceptions that changed momentum. And I think that's part of the reason I went with 4 red zone opportunities for the 49ers is I believe this 49ers defense is going to create 4 turnovers in this football game. I think this is going to be steamrolling. We're going to get things going. And I think Trevor's going to turn the ball over a couple times. We're going to get a couple fumbles as well. So yeah, 4 turnovers, create red zone opportunities, and the 49ers capitalize on it all.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's really bold. And
Whoa.
I'll build off your boldness with specificness on the boldness. And oh, he loves it. You know he does.
Here
we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. E-Man, last few weeks, technically most of the season, been dropping a lot of things. And things have been hitting him in the hands.
That is true.
Hasn't been kind. It hasn't been a kind season for Emmanuel Mosley. You know what? He's going to have a conversation this week with his hand. They're going to have a nice talk and chat in the locker room pregame. He's like, you know what? Come on. You can do this. I believe in you guys. Jimmy Ward has been stepping as his vocal leader. Jimmy Ward's going to come up to those hands. Hey, I believe in you. And Emmanuel Mosley is going to record his first INT of the season for the San Francisco 49ers. Bring it inside the 10. Put them in one of those positive field goal red zone situations. And Nick Bosa. We've been seeing it. Being in real close. We talked about it earlier today about the whole, the wraps. They're not really holds, I guess. And you know what? Nick Bosa's getting sick of it, and he's just going to bully his way through. He's going to get a couple sacks in this game, but he's going to force a fumble. He's going to force a fumble in this game that the 49ers are going to recover and, again, put themselves in prime position there. There's 2 of your 4 turnovers right there.
I like it.
And Eric Armstead. Thanos has been talking smack. Last year, Thanos did a film breakdown talking smack on Eric Armstead, and Eric Armstead responded and basically put him in his place, smacked him down where he belongs because Thanos doesn't know what film is or what the game of football actually entails. He just knows ball, things, people move, and stuff happens. That's about his extent of football knowledge for the 49ers. And
motion.
That also. People move around motion. There's things happening. Coaches.
He just doesn't try.
He just doesn't do
Not
anything.
enough effort.
He's oblivious. He doesn't even know what he's doing out there. He's just getting smacked. He's just getting smacked.
He doesn't understand football, so it has to be emotion.
He's a big taff. But this big taff is going to get embarrassed, Ant. He's going to get absolutely embarrassed because Eric Armstead is going to come through in a big way. 2 big sacks for Eric Armstead and the recovery of that forced fumble by Nick Bosa as both of them bust through, and Trevor Lawrence is like, "Daddy, no!" as he's getting smacked in the face. Look,
specifics of Bosa turnover the Armstead. Okay.
Hey, you went bold. I had to be specific. I had to go specific this week. But that's my Wow That's Bold prediction for the defense. I always enjoy Wow That's Bold.
I know you do. You get like a certain little wiggle.
You've seen that wiggle before. You've seen that dance on the sidelines when you call plays.
That's true. Yeah.
Alex's spread dance.
I'm gonna do my dance for you right now. That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
Get all happy. Sideline Ant calls redonkulous, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm literally, here we go, Jim.
One of the teams tried redonkulous this week. A high school team. Maybe it was a high school team.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the team that was playing St. John Bosco literally ran redonkulous.
Nice.
It was fly sweep to reverse to pitch back to quarterback to throw. I got picked off.
Yikes.
They didn't execute it very well.
Did not execute redonkulous the way you're supposed to.
No.
Remember when we ran redonkulous and the quarterback then ran for a touchdown? And I sprinted down the sideline? Good times. Absolutely great times.
Good times.
Was supposed to be a touchdown pass. Ended up being a touchdown run for like 70 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely lost my mind. One of my all-time favorite plays when you call it. And I absolutely love redonkulous. But you know what another thing is we love around here, Ant? We love ourselves some picks. We love picking games in the NFC West, picking games that are going to impact and affect the 49ers all season long, whether they're in the playoff hunt or not in the playoff hunt. It doesn't matter around here because we love Lock It Up, Ant. Lock It Up is one of our all-time favorite segments, one of our favorite segments, and Steve loves it as well. And that's why he's here back yet again to make his picks this week in Week 11 for Lock It Up.
Another completed workday. So why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? Lock it up. Drake topping that billboard. Started from the bottom, now he's there.
Taking the Cardinals over the Seahawks. Eagles over the Saints. Packers over the Vikings.
Yeah.
And of course, Niners over the Jaguars. I'm home. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Oh me, oh my, and it's lock it up time. Everyone last week went 3-1. Everyone picked exactly the same. I'm getting really sick of it. I'd like to be able to pull away if possible. I know you would like to be able to pull away if possible. You and I have been pretty much on the same page the last 4 weeks, Ant. I'm getting really tired of it. And one of the first games that we talked about, I thought I was going to be able to pull a fast one. Swerve could not. I was a little upset about that, and we'll get into it. You'll see ours. You just heard from the Azorian one. You see what he has to say. You know where he's at. You can see him over there.
The only person to go from 4-0 to 0-4.
It's true, and then to 3-1. He's all over the place, and he's like a roller coaster. So if history serves correct, it's going to be a bad week for Steve. So let's hope we didn't pick the same as the Azorian one. But I mean, listen, he's 20-16 over there. He's sitting himself a nice, comfortable 4th place. TCC. Bringing up the caboose right now, but you're the new ones. You're the new kids on the block. You know, you got a little bit of wiggle room. You're trying to get your feet underneath you still. Horses put together some good weeks, Ant, and you and I are still sitting at 22-14.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very interesting week in Lock It Up because there's a lot of very pivotal games, and
there is, yeah,
including some games that you and I may both want to go a certain way, but necessarily we don't know if that's going to be the case. But let's start with the first game on the docket. It was the first game I posted for the TCC this week. It was Saints versus Eagles. It was a huge matchup. You saw what the Azorian one had to say. Where are you at?
Yeah, I watched the game last week of the Saints and the Titans, and I thought that the Saints were playing pretty well, pretty good football. And they're getting enough done with the quarterback. It's not perfect, but Simeon's getting a little bit done. They're getting a little bit more healthy in some other areas. But the defense is what I've been watching. The defense is playing well. The defense had them in a position to win. And I've seen the Eagles play, and I've seen Jalen Hurts, and there's nothing about that Eagles offense that makes me think the Saints can't stop them. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Saints in this football game, 23-20.
I like that, Ant. That's a really good score. 23-20 there is a fantastic score. The Cutback crew agreed with you. 54%. Horst agrees as well. The Azorian one with the Eagles.
Strong side.
The left side looks like the strong side, Ant, but this is where you and I will part ways.
And you agreed with the Steve.
I did, which in theory doesn't necessarily bode well for me because he's been known to go up and down, but I have faith in Philadelphia for one reason and one reason only, and that is the shift in game plan and scheme. I called this. I've been talking with a lot of people and in a lot of different my fantasy leagues. I was making moves to acquire Miles Sanders because the Eagles were struggling. The offensive identity was just not there. They weren't getting a lot of things done, and their offense was stagnant. It was atrocious. It was ugly. And I kept making these moves for Miles Sanders and trading pieces away and getting future capital and downgrading my running back room in the hopes of bringing this guy in because I thought he's going to have a big second half of the season because I thought the new coach in Sirianni, who's calling plays for the first time in his career, was going to realize and recognize one thing. One of your more talented guys is your running back, and you need to get him the football, and that means you need to run the ball, guy. Run it. They start to do that. Miles Sanders goes down with an ankle sprain, and I was like, well, shoot. I made all those moves, and now I have to sit on them for a few weeks. But he's been cleared to play. His practice window is open. He should be back in the lineup. And when you have one of your more explosive, better athletes out there on the field, it should help get that offense going. A team that has shifted extremely heavily the other direction towards the running game. I know the Saints front has played really, really well. Their front has done a great job of being able to slow teams run game down. They did it to Tampa Bay successfully. They did it against the Titans as well. They can definitely do that to the Eagles. But I think Miles Sanders is going to get enough done in this game to help get the Eagles over. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think any game for the Saints is going to be pretty the rest of the season with Trevor Siemian at quarterback.
No.
And the Eagles offense has not blown anyone away. 17-14 Philadelphia with a late field goal by Florida Gators former kicker Jake Elliott. A nice win for the Eagles.
Yeah. Quan's going to make the last tackle to win this game.
I like it, Ant.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I like me some Quan Alexander.
Hey, Quan is a dude. He's a stud, and he's playing
We're going to
phenomenal.
get a nice...
Absolutely, he's going to get hot.
Yeah.
He's going to get hot.
Well, I think they're like the Fresh Boys or something. They have a different name.
It
It's boys, but it's not Hot Boys anymore.
It can't be the Hot Boys.
No. Like Fresh Boys or something like that. Yeah.
Well, they fresh and so clean. So I like it. That actually makes
good
sense.
linebacker core right there.
It is. It is a good linebacking core, and Quan's playing great over there. Next up on the docket, though, is Packers-Vikings. The big game with big potential matchups, not only in the division, but for the 49ers as well, as is this Saints-Eagles game. If you're the 49ers, you hate seeing the Saints and Eagles going up because both teams are right within your wheelhouse.
One of them's going to lose.
One of them's going to lose, and if you win, you're able to get yourself up into that same threshold and category as them. And ideally, if the Eagles win, right?
It's better for the 49ers.
It's better for the 49ers. But Packers-Vikings, as much as it pains a lot of people to say, the Vikings are a team that's starting to figure some things out and have clicked a little bit, but have still had their struggles. They're going up against a Packers team that's offense struggled last week against the Seattle Seahawks. You saw what Steve's went with the Green Bay Packers. Ant, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm going Cheeseheads as well. I think that the Packers are just too good. I think their defense is too good for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense. And I think that the Packers are going to get it done 27-17. I think it'll be a pretty good game, but I think Aaron Rodgers is too much. Devontae Adams, they have too many weapons. I mean, I'm a little worried about the Packers' run game. They're going to have A.J. Dillon doing the bulk of the load now that, Aaron Jones is out, but I think they have enough to win.
I agree with you there. I think they have enough to win. I think they have the pieces that they need there. Not the addition, but the return of Aaron Rodgers allows it so that your team can win pretty much any football game that they're in. You don't have to rely on Jordan Love. He's going to be able to make plays with his hand, with his arm, his feet. No matter what it is, Aaron Rodgers can get it done for you.
That was funny because you said Jordan Love and rely in the same sentence.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't do that at all, Ant. That'll be the last time anyone uses those words in the same sentence. But I'm in the same boat as you here, and the Cutback crew is as well. 85% of them thought that. I'm in this boat in this category as well. I think Green Bay just has too many weapons offensively. I think Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. The Minnesota Vikings defense is suspect at best. The secondary is questionable at best, and I think they're going to be able to take advantage, whether that's Allen Lazard, whether that's Devontae Adams, or whether that's A.J. Dillon. This is going to be his opportunity to shine and show what he could be in the system. And, maybe make Green Bay think twice about wanting to hang on to Aaron Jones long term with that contract, probably at least one more year if they wanted to move on from him. This is Dillon's time to shine. I think he's going to be just fine in this system. He's going to do fine. He's going to do great. 28-13 Green Bay.
Oh, nice.
And Horst, with the swerve of swerves, Ant, going with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
This is bold. This is a bold take here. This is a bold pick. He's trying to get himself back into the conversation.
Or put more distance between us, one or the other. Oh, yeah, he's taking a chance here. And maybe he knows something that we don't. He sees the Vikings winning this football game. Who knows? Maybe
he does. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. We'll find out.
I know another reason. I'll probably tell you off air.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
That absolutely sounds good. Look, the Cardinals, though, up next on the docket, and they got themselves a division game. A division game against the Seattle Seahawks. A game in which there are question marks abound. Is Kyler Murray playing? Is D-Hop playing? Is Russell Wilson healthy enough to find some magic somewhere deep down in his loins in order to make this thing work and get Seattle back into the conversation in the playoff hunt? Steve's, he's going with the Arizona Cardinals. Ant, are you going with Arizona and a potential Kyler-less offense, or do you think this is Seattle's opportunity to get back into the conversation?
I think after watching what Seattle did against Green Bay's offense, and they played them pretty well, it didn't look like a team that was not inspired to play. So I think Seattle still got something there. The fact they're playing at home against Arizona, we don't know if Kyler's playing. We don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is playing, and I wouldn't be shocked if neither of them play. And then the question is Colt McCoy. He's probably not going to play either. And if Colt McCoy doesn't play, then you're getting deep into the barrel. And once you get down there, I believe the Seahawks can do enough to win this football game, and I think they will. I got the Seahawks winning the game 20-16.
I like that. I like that score. That's a good score. The Cutback crew agreed with the Azorian one. They're 57%. My apologies. 57% there for the Arizona Cardinals. Horst Going with the Cardinals as well. And this was the game that I joked about at the start of Lock It Up, where I thought I was going to go with a big swerve here and get Seattle and potentially, get one up on good old Ant over here, the defending reigning champion. And you're on the same page as me. It absolutely just grinded my gears when we were sitting there putting these in, and I'm loading everything into Stream Elements, and you said, yeah, I'm going with Seattle. I was like, you son of a gun. Big yikes indeed. I thought this was going to be my opportunity to steal one and steal a game. Absolutely not. I'm in the same boat as you, though. Even if Kyler Murray is healthy, he's not healthy. He's not 100%. This defense is playing inspired right now in Seattle. Russ Wilson not being in extremely not climate-friendly weather for a broken freaking finger with pins in it. He's not going to be in that kind of cold, which means he should be able to grip better, throw better. He's going to be one more game removed and back with the rust off. So I have a feeling Russ is going to be able to do enough in this game to help Seattle get a big win. I'm going to say Kyler plays. I'm going to say no D-Hop. I'm going to say Seattle 24, Arizona 21. In a very close contest in which the 12 has a big impact, and Seattle's able to get themselves a little bit closer in the conversation, at least get themselves back up there.
And Chris Carson could be back too. So
absolutely, that could be a huge role, an absolutely huge role.
Yeah.
And you guys heard us talking about that on Quest for the West too.
Yeah,
Sam?
that's where I got all my knowledge and decided to pick the Seattle Seahawks from Quest for the West.
It's good old Sam over there giving you all hype on Seattle. I like it, Ed. I like it. But now, this is the game. This is the game that matters here on this channel. This is the most important game each and every week, unless there's a bye week, right? 49ers in Jacksonville against the Urban Grinders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Azorian one stays faithful. I have a feeling that we're going to see a return to faith with the Cutback crew. We have been faithful. This isn't even a question, right? You're just going San Francisco.
Yeah, 100%. I think the only question is what the score is going to be.
I like it.
Because I have complete faith in the 49ers. And, I mean, everyone that's been watching knows that I've been thinking they were going to turn this thing around. And I believe this is going to be another reason why. It's going to be 3 out of 4 for the 49ers. And on that upward trend, winning 2 in a row is important.
As the cream of the crop rises to the tip.
Set yourself up to have a really good chance at the playoffs. So I got the 49ers winning this game 34-17.
And 34-17 is one heck of a score. I really, really, really like that score. In fact, I have the 49ers scoring 34 myself, but it's 34-3.
Whoa.
I have the 49ers defense showing up in a big way because I believe deep down that you're going to get the return of Dre Greenlaw, and you're just going to see a team in Jacksonville that's not able to establish that run game like I talked about a little bit earlier. The linebackers, the run fits are going to be there. You have a potentially healthy Jaquiski Tartt in the lineup, and even if you don't, you have Talanoa Hufanga, who's shown he is more than serviceable in the secondary. They're going to be able to take the things away from the Jacksonville Jaguars, create turnovers, make Trevor Lawrence make mistakes. This is an opportunity for them to make a statement. Jacksonville has played 2 really solid football games. You beat the Bills. You played very, very tight against the Indianapolis Colts. 49ers, we're not the team we were when we played Indianapolis. This is an opportunity for you to make a statement that you're starting to separate yourself from everyone else in the league, and this is the team to do it against. Big win for San Francisco on the horizon, and Ant, course, obviously going with San Francisco. And the Cutback, the faithful is back, Ant. The TCC, 96% on 300-plus votes, Ant. 300-plus votes, 96% from the Cutback crew. Oh, good That's golly impressive. Almighty, that is.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back indeed. Look, we'll see what happens. This is going to be a very interesting week of Lock It Up. We've been having pretty, I wouldn't say boring weeks of Lock It Up recently, but very consistent weeks in terms of the games and where things are going. We're getting to that point of the season now where anything can happen and teams are starting to separate themselves and showing their true colors and who they're going to be the rest of the way. And all of us are starting to pick our ponies and pick our horses and riding. Well, Lock It Up could look a lot different next week.
Oh, guaranteed. There's going to be a new leader next week. Either you'll be winning or I'll be winning or both will be winning.
It's true.
That's the way it's going to be.
It's true.
That's what's going to happen. One of us 3 will be in.
That's the way it's going to be.
Will be the winner or leading, not the winner, but the leaders in the clubhouse. So yeah, there will not be a tie as far as on top next week.
Accurate. And we'll have a new leader. We'll see who it's going to be
from the top.
We'll see. We'll see, my guy. We'll see. We'll see. I know, to be the best, though, you got to beat the best, Ant. So taking some chances. You're definitely taking some chances this weekend. Horst is 100% taking some chances.
It's not taking a chance when you know.
Oh, okay. Touche.
Touche. Just kidding.
Touche, man. Hey, you know what?
You're
right. You're writing checks that maybe your body can't cash.
I can cash them all. I can cash them all. I got a black card.
Look, Cutback crew. This is going to be a very interesting week of Lock It Up. Cannot wait to see how Sunday and Monday plays out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, Ant, Lock It Up is officially over.
It is.
I'm actually kind of sad. I'm kind of sad. And then I remembered nothing to be sad about. Isn't how the Niners are going to be playing soon, and everything's going to be good times again here on the Cutback. Look, this was a great week this week, a great preview show. The energy from the faithful and the fan base has been absolutely incredible. The energy on Monday night was absolutely fantastic, and I'm hoping to see a little bit of a 49ers takeover in Jacksonville, and that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. The 49ers fans travel better than anyone else. Looking forward to seeing them out there cheering the team on, and hoping the 49ers get a big victory. Taking them back to 500 and putting them firmly in the playoff hunt. All things are going the right way for the 49ers if they can get this done. So I'm excited about the prospects. I'm looking forward to this season because I think the 49ers are going to make a nice playoff push, and it's going to be a fun end of the season.
Absolutely. This is exciting times for the fan base, exciting times for the San Francisco 49ers, and hopefully you enjoyed this preview show. Let us know what you thought about it down below. If you didn't get your Well That Bold predictions in, let them in there right now. Type them all out, or just head on over to the live stream right now. The live Q&A that's going to be coming up just after this in a little bit, right around 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, in which we're going to talk all things you, Cutback Crew, everything that you want to talk about. Not what we want to discuss, not what's going on up here in our noggins and on the channel, but whatever it is that you want to talk about, whether that's fantasy football, whether it's ats. Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
I combined ant and a hat into one word there. Man, look at my noodle.
Not far off.
No, but whether it's Ant's hat collection and all the sweet things he's got going over there, new merch and new things are coming out here on this channel, and the new things that we're trying to do and bring to you day in and day out. We got time for all of it. We got time for you, Cutback Crew, so we'll see you over in the live Q&A, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to join the channel if you feel like it as well. Things are definitely not falling apart in the studio over here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, nothing is falling apart. People thought the 49ers season was falling apart, but it definitely wasn't. And now they're back on the positive, way, and we're gonna get a big victory against the Jaguars. I'm excited about this one. I can't stand the Jaguars. I don't like AEW. So this is gonna be a big double win for the 49ers this week.
Hopefully Sunday morning is dynamite for the 49ers. Hopefully we come out of this thing with a big fat win. I'm sorry, I had to. You set it up. It was too easy. He doesn't like it at all, but
one bit.
Not even a little bit. But Cutback Crew, we hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the live stream, and until then, stay safe.
Remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.